Well, the pro-global warming movements really don't produce arguments. They make claims, and this is my big problem with them. And these claims are not backed up by science. They make the claim that scientists believe or know X, Y, Z. But when you look into this, it's just not true. For example, they say 97% of scientists believe that man-made climate change exists. Well, actually, they don't. The survey of scientific papers they did on that was done on that and published, said that 97% of scientists who had, were getting funding for research put the word climate change in the headline or the abstract. But that didn't mean they believed anything. In fact, it was 0.3% who actually asserted strongly that they believe man-made climate change was a major factor and man's CO2 was a major factor in controlling climate. So that figure is false and also irrelevant, because what counts in science is evidence. If there's no evidence for a scientific theory, that theory is wrong. End of story. Doesn't matter how qualified or expert or royal or pop star the person making the claim is, if it's not backed up by observation, it's wrong. The most important thing, perhaps, as far as the way children and the public think about it, is that they're told CO2 is a bad thing. Well, CO2 is not a bad thing. CO2 is the gas of life, and without it, plants wouldn't grow. We'd all be dead. And actually, we want more CO2, not less. And even if CO2 is a problem and controls climate, you have to look at, apart from the fact that facts don't agree with that, man's CO2 is only a fraction of the natural CO2. So if you think of the atmosphere as Big Ben Tower, then the carbon dioxide content of the atmosphere is like 1.5 inches on top of Big Ben Tower. And man's contribution to that is about 1 millimetre on top of that, i.e. a dab of bird poo on top of Big Ben Tower. And we're told that is controlling the CO2 and all the rest. Well, this is a conspiracy of nature, because you see, termites produce a lot more CO2 than the whole of man's activity. So why don't we have a war on termites? And do the termites know when man's producing CO2 to follow man? I mean, how can the 96% follow the 4%? I mean, the termites in the jungle in South America don't know when you're driving your car down the road at Elephant and Castle. They don't know that, and they're not responding to that, unless you believe in a great conspiracy theory of nature, which is what they require. That is required by their propaganda. Well, the specific point they make, of course, is that man-made climate change is real. Well, our own research shows, and research of others show, which we quote, is that man-made climate change does not exist. I mean, the specific big complaints I have, beyond their fake claims of what scientists believe or know, is that firstly, actual evidence shows that man-made climate change does not exist. Secondly, the claim that CO2 is causing warming is not actually met by any science. So that claim is incorrect. What actually is happening is that carbon dioxide levels follow temperatures. That is an observed fact in 1 million years of data. And I think it will be fair to conclude that really the policies for controlling climate are not actually about controlling climate, they're about controlling you, making you pay money, pay taxes, controlling you to do all sorts of things, which is part of a big globalist agenda, if you like.